Some inns weren't built for guests. Some were orphanages once, forgotten by time, remembered only by the ones who never left. They sit at the edge of overgrown roads, wrapped in vines and silence, waiting. Locals won't speak of them. Maps pretend they were never there. And when someone does find their way inside, it's never by accident, because the children still need someone to care for them, to stay. And once you do, you never really leave. Welcome to Whispers After Dark, where shadows talk and the night listens. This is the story of the children at Briarwood Manor, a Black Hollow story. Delilah and Aidan had never heard of Briarwood Manor until they found a handwritten advertisement in the back of an old guest book at a dusty diner off a mountain road. They had found the small town of Black Hollow purely by accident on a road trip one autumn weekend. Briarwood Manor showed no listing online, no photos, just a note, peaceful, private, perfect for newlyweds. And beneath it, in faded red ink, ask for Ruth. The road to Briarwood was more a memory than a path, curving deep into the Appalachian trees until their cell signal died and the world fell strangely quiet. When the manor came into view, it rose like a corpse from the earth. 3 stories of stone and shadow, with black windows that reflected nothing and vines that clung like grasping fingers. It looked less like an inn and more like a place that had been waiting for its next victim. Ruth greeted them at the porch, brittle and smiling. She handed over a rusted iron key and said they'd have the place to themselves. Brierwood doesn't like crowds. Their room was on the 2nd floor, tucked at the end of a crooked hallway. The wallpaper curled like old parchment, and the air smelled of dried roses and something faintly sour. Aidan said it had character. Delilah wasn't so sure. That night, she woke to the sound of children laughing. Not playful laughter, something softer, thinner. It drifted through the walls like smoke. Aidan didn't stir. In the morning, there were small muddy footprints on the rug by the bed and faint handprints on the mirror above the dresser. Aidan shrugged it off, saying the place just had residual charm. He spent the day sketching in the sitting room, his notebook filling with faces of children neither of them had seen. Always pale, always staring, always with eyes colored in completely black. He hummed while he drew, a slow, sad tune Delilah didn't recognize. By the 3rd day, she'd stopped sleeping. The laughter had turned to weeping, and the weeping to whispers that seemed to echo through the walls when no one spoke. Once, in the early morning hours, she saw them, 2 children standing at the end of the hallway. Their clothes were old, drenched as if from rain, their skin almost translucent. When she blinked, they were gone. She started finding Aidan's sketches tucked into strange places, beneath the pillows, behind the curtains. More children, dozens of them, all with black eyes. That evening she found him standing in the attic stairwell, whispering to the dark. The next day, Delilah wandered through the manor alone, drawn to a warped door behind the library. Inside was a hidden room filled with dust-covered toys, rotting books, and a framed photograph nailed to the wall. Beneath it, a tarnished plaque read, Briarwood House for Children, 1887 to 1932. Let no child be forgotten. The children in the photograph wore dark uniforms and hollow expressions. She took the photo to Ruth, who studied it with something like pride. The house remembers its own, she said. That night the power went out, the halls fell into shadow, the manor exhaled. Delilah lit a candle and found Aidan sitting in the armchair, sketchbook in hand, humming that same lullaby again and again. He didn't speak. He barely blinked. The wind began to moan through the shutters, though the air outside was still. Sometime after midnight, Delilah opened her eyes to find the window wide open and the children standing at the foot of the bed. Their skin was gray now, their mouths slightly open, their black eyes bottomless. They reached for her with fingers too long. Aidan stood behind them. His eyes were black too. She bolted down the hallway, heart pounding, but the manor twisted around her. Hallways stretching, doors shifting. She found the front door and stumbled out into the woods, running through branches that clawed her arms and fog that wrapped around her ankles. When the trees finally broke, she reached the road and stopped, panting, shaking. There, nailed to a crooked post, was a wooden sign. "Welcome to Briarwood Manor, home for children." The paint was peeling. The road was gone, vanishing into the mist that swirled around her. Behind her, in the distance, the manor stood quiet and tall, half wrapped in the trees that pressed in from all sides. The house didn't creak, it didn't breathe, but she could feel it watching. And as the fog thickened and the world grew still, she lowered her head and silently walked back up the drive, into Aiden's waiting arms. Briarwood Manor is still there in Black Hollow, forgotten by time, but never by the children inside. It only returns when it needs someone new, someone to read the bedtime stories, to quiet the crying, to hum a forgotten lullaby, to stay. Ruth is gone now. She was laid to rest in the orphanage's cemetery of child-sized gravestones hidden in a small grove just beyond the manor. Brierwood chose Aiden and Delilah to take her place. You see, Brierwood doesn't look for guests. It calls for guardians, and now that it has them, it doesn't need to open again. Not until the children are lonely once more. Truth or legend. Sometimes they are often hard to separate, because every story begins somewhere with something. Every myth has a beginning. Every whispered tale is born from something. But Briarwood, well, it was created from my own imagination. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Whispers After Dark. If this story sent a chill down your spine, comment below. Tell us about a story you would like to hear, and check out the other chilling videos and audiobooks in our channel. Make sure to subscribe, like, and tap the notification bell so you never miss what waits in the shadows. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and beware of the whispers after dark.